Hi and welcome to the first episode of the Knitterarium Podcast. My name is Ruth and this episode is coming to you from Westmeath in Ireland where I live. Thank you for coming along and viewing this my knitting podcast, as I know there are lots of wonderful podcasts out there to watch and to listen to. If you are watching it, it means I've been brave enough to post it. I'm normally behind the camera, not in front of it, so it's quite nerve-wracking and daunting to be this side of it. Today is Sunday, the 16th of October. It's wet and windy here in Westmeath in Ireland. Perfect knitting weather, really. And autumn has really hit this last week in Ireland. A little bit, I suppose, about why I wanted to start this knitting podcast. Knitterarium has always been about exploring creative possibility, about opening up the book with empty needles and cakes of yarn and letting it become whatever it wants to become. I'm not just a knitting pattern designer, but I'm a knitter, and I'm always knitting. I'm never not knitting, and knitting podcasts seemed like a fun and exciting way to share that with the wider audience. So I thought I'd give it a go. So I think we'll just get started now with the knitting part. The first section I have is my sock section. Happy feet. I'm always knitting socks. I always have a pair of socks on the needles. They're the perfect go-to item when you just want to knit and relax and unwind. So I'm always knitting socks. My first sock pattern that I have for you is these ones here. I'm using Nathan of the Sockmaticians, his pattern for toe-up socks. This yarn is by Norah George. It's her Jack Skellington colourway. It's got this nice bright neon yellow. I don't think I'm going to lose my toes with this. And this nice black and cream colourway. This is her high twist, and it's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. I have the toe. I knit my socks concurrently. I don't have a problem with second sock syndrome. I knit them concurrently because I like to cast off a pair of socks at the one time. This is nice and bright. This is ready for the foot part, and then this one is now ready for the increases. So it's done. It's coming on. It's nice and relaxing. It's just a plain vanilla sock. This is the only pair of socks I have on the needles at the moment. I'll tell you about the bag. I have these, and these are in my Mrs. Brown's bags. I was lucky enough to snag this on one of her updates. It's lovely. I love this fabric. It's nice and bright, and it's got a lovely pink. Everything seems to be pink at the minute in this. It's nice and pink. The inside is lovely, and I love a little leather tassel for closing it. They're housed in that bag. I have caked up the yarn for another pair of socks. I just haven't started them yet. I haven't just quite decided on the pattern for these. The yarn I'm using is this yarn. This yarn is Glass Case of Emotion by Green Elephant Yarns. Fiona is an Irish indie dyer. That yarn is That yarn is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. That's Fiona's tag there. This yarn was part of her Anchorman yarn box that she was doing. The theme was the film's Anchorman, and hence the name of the yarn. And it was a yarn box that she did with Sarah of Sweensie Crafts. Sarah is also based here in Ireland. She makes these project bags, so this was the project bag to go along with it. Then my Game of Thrones spins, a little bit of nerdy. Nice blue inside on that. These are going to be housed in these. When I decide on the pattern, these are going to be knit with my Chow Goose dpns again, and I'll knit these concurrently as well. That's all I have for you for socks at the moment. The next section I have is Into the Wardrobe. Into the Wardrobe is my garment section. I knit garments, I don't seem to knit them very often. And while going through my wardrobe recently, I noticed I was very short on garments, and it seemed such a shame not to have hand knitted garments when I'm able to knit them. So I decided I would rectify that. This is kept in my Fondant Fibre Alice in Wonderland themed bag. I love Alice in Wonderland. I like anything book related at all, but I'm particularly fond of Alice in Wonderland. So when I saw this come up on her website, I was delighted. I even have a Curacao and Curacao pin, which seemed just perfect for it. It didn't come with it, it was just, I happened to have it. And it came with Alice in Wonderland themed markers, stitch markers. Now the yarn I'm using for this garment is Eden Cottage Yarns in Tempo, her Tempo base. It's Apricot Tulip that I'm using. I love this yarn. This yarn is wonderfully soft. It's lovely. It's 75% wool, 25% nylon. The jumper I'm knitting is the Herbarium jumper by NCL Knits. I'm knitting these on my 3.5s. I had to go up a couple of needle sizes to get gauge for this sweater. It's got this nice lace front to it, and then it's got just a plain stockinette back. The Alice in Wonderland themed stitch markers. We have this nice clock time and the teapot. We've got, trying not to lose any stitches, the white rabbit and then the heart. And it also came with this a little progress keeper, a Drink Me progress keeper. I tend to only get to knit on this at weekends, so I've only made just a short little bit of progress. I need to get more time at the weekends to knit on this. I'm dropping stitches now. There we go. So this is my first garment that I have for this year on the needles. I'm actually not quite sure how this is going to go with my hair colour, and I have it finished. I chose the yarn because I liked the colour of it, not even thinking of my hair colour and how it was all going to go. But I'm really enjoying this knit. The pattern is easy to follow. It's a lovely knit. It's very relaxing. I just need to get more time to knit on it. And that's the only garment I have at the moment on the needles. Next section I have is Treasure Trove, my acquisitions section. By the way, I'm drinking just strong black coffee because there was no way I was going to get through this without it. I'm not a big tea flavour drinker. I tend to just take plain black tea, breakfast tea and strong black coffee. So, Treasure Trove, my acquisitions section. Recently, some independent Irish dyers club together, and they have yarn night once a month on their Facebook page, and they have a theme. This month's theme happened to be Halloween, and I was on and I happened to see Ellie and Ada have had these wonderful yarns. And the first yarn I purchased from Laura, who's based in Trim here in Ireland, was this. This one is called Halloween Candy, and it's her superwash merino sock yarn. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. There's 425 metres to this 100 gram skein, and it's just this wonderful collection of just creams and purples and oranges, and there's a little bit of black in it, and it's just lovely. Pinks and pinky purples. It's just this, it's wonderful. That's that one. I also purchased from Ellie and Ada as well was this one. This one was called Toil and Trouble. You can find Laura's Ellie and Ada shop on Etsy. This again is her superwash merino sock yarn, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and this is a lovely collection of blacks and lime greens, this popping pink and blues. It's lovely. This is going to be a pair of socks. It's lovely. Laura happened to also send along some stitch markers or progress keepers with them. We had this lovely pumpkin. Again, these were all fitting to the theme. There's this little pumpkin. There's a little witch. She's kind of cute. Little witch one. And then just some beads. Blacks and purples in beads. So that was that one. Then also based here in Ireland is Strand Designs. Karina was recently celebrating her wedding anniversary, and she had a discount on her shop, so I took advantage of it, and I purchased 2 skeins of yarn from Karina of Strand Designs. This is her sock 4-ply. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. This one is called Pumpkin Passion. And it is just, Karina's colours are always just so subtle, and they're lovely. Lovely creams and peaches and oranges and purples. This is lovely. It's kind of like an understated Halloween yarn. It's lovely. She also had this one. I loved the colours in this one. This one is called April Showers. Again in her sock 4-ply, 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And it's just this wonderful collection of blues and greens. This is very soothing. This is lovely. I think this would make a lovely hat. It's lovely. Karina also sent on then this gorgeous Notions tin. Just lovely. I love it. It's just gorgeous tin, just to hold all the notions in. You can never have enough tins for those. So that's all of the acquisitions I have for the moment. This week in Ireland, the Knitting and Stitching Show is coming to the RDS in Dublin, and I will be attending that with some friends. So I'm most likely going to come home with another acquisition or 2. It'd be very hard to go to a show like that and not come home with something. The next section I have for you is my design section. Now, if this doesn't interest you, you can turn off now. And thank you very much for coming and viewing. If you are going to stick around, we'll get started with the design corner. In this section, I will introduce you to any new designs I'm releasing, or I won't be able to show too many, I suppose, that I'm working on, but any new releases I'll be able to show you. Now this one here in the background is Fanula. She's coming out this week. She's a shawl, and she'll be out later on this week. So she's a lace beaded shawl. So she's got lace worked on both right sides and wrong sides. And another one I'm currently working on that's stored here in my Craft House Magic bag. More Game of Thrones. Can we see a theme here? This gorgeous bag, as I said, is by Craft House Magic. That's her little tag there. Ellie. She's just recently started a podcast as well. And this is a gorgeous quilted bag. So it is, it's beautiful. And it came with a little matching notions bag. It's lovely. It has this really cute little zipper pull or progress keeper. We can see it's a little bicycle. There we go. Little bicycle with a star on it. And it's got one matching it on the project bag. This is a great size project bag. This you may have seen recently on my Instagram feed, which, by the way, if you want to follow along, is Knitterarium. You can find me on Instagram as that. It's a good size shawl now. These are the yarns I'm using for this one. Now, this is linen yarn. I've not designed anything with linen yarn before. This yarn is from Eco Stitch in the UK in the colourways French Navy and Rose. This is a 4-ply weight yarn. There's 245 meters. Now, the more I work with this, the softer it is getting. I was surprised by how tough it seemed, but the more I use it, the softer it is getting, and it has definitely taken on the linen qualities that I know. Now, you may have seen little sneak previews of this on Instagram, so we can show a little bit, I think. I don't want to show too much. The sun is really coming in now and starting to blow it out a bit. So just, as you can see, just garter stitch with remote. That's that design. This one is called Dying of the Light. And it should be coming up for test knitting soon. The last bit of editing has to go on the pattern before it goes to my tech editor, and then it'll be ready for test knitting. So I think that's it. I think that's all I have to show you for now. If you've stuck with me this long, thank you. I hope it went smooth. It wasn't too bad. Could have been worse, I suppose. I hope to podcast every 2 weeks. Not quite sure I'm up to weekly yet, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see if I can get this one uploaded first and get over that hurdle. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Happy knitting. Bye.